You're listening to the Every Student, Every Day podcast with me, Jim Franchini, Superintendent of the Eily Vollick Central School District. Welcome to this episode of the Every Student, Every Day podcast. Our last episode featured students and our director of the spring musical. And as we mentioned then, we're looking to do a two-part podcast. So we're back again to talk with some more students and get to know more about the upcoming show, days away from the performances. And we're excited about that. So we'll get going. Busy time of year for this crew. So we appreciate them taking a few moments with us. If we could start off by just having you introduce yourself, maybe talk to us about what your role is, just to give us a little bit of a history of who you are. Nicole, we're going to let you start again.
I am Mrs. Monroe, and this is my fourth year here at Eily Vollick High School, and my fourth year doing shows with this insanely talented set of people. And I believe that the people that are sitting at this table have been involved in a lot of shows, right? Yeah. Okay. I also teach English here and some other electives.
I'm Teagan Carrig, and I'm a junior, and I'm the student dance captain. And I have done, I think, almost every show since I've been a freshman, and I've been doing OBP for about 3 or 4 years, and I really enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Teagan. Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily Pulcher. I'm a junior also, and I'm the costume manager, and I've also been a part of OBP for about 3 years since my freshman year. Yes, in the last show, I've also done costumes. I'm also the costumes officer for the entire club.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Eily.
I'm Eily Vollick. I am a junior who has been in OBP my entire time that I've been here at APHS. I've acted in almost every single one of the shows besides our last year's cabaret, where I was a tech person and I was making props then.
Very nice. Well, thank you again to all of you for joining us. We know it's a busy time here. You kind of mentioned your titles. Can you talk to us a little bit about your role and when you do most of your work? Eily, we're going to go back to you to start us off.
All right. So my job as props manager, I get to utilize a lot of my creativity, which is something I really enjoy doing. I will make props and organize props that we need, categorize by who needs them. And I work very closely with the tech, like the backstage tech, as well as Miss Monroe and our student director, Bailey. I do a lot of my work really anywhere that I can. I tend to bring home things like cups or posters that I need to just work on when I don't have time to at school. So I'll be doing that at home with painting or on the computer. As Miss Monroe will attest, I was making a poster my whole day that I was with her.
Awesome. Thank you. Lily, how about you?
I do a lot of organizing, and I pretty much work with every single actor. I help them pick out their costumes. I give my opinion, and I also organize them, put them into closets. I actually do it pretty much throughout the day. I'll do an advisory or just during rehearsals whenever I have time.
And she also does some ordering, and she claws through our giant set of costumes storage and finds things in there and helps other people do that.
Very important roles for sure. Teagan, how about you?
I am the dance captain, and I work very closely with Miss Elishuk, our choreographer, and also mainly with our Greek ensemble, which are our dancers, our dance ensemble, but also with the entire cast. And I just try to remember and help everyone with the choreography. I do most of our work after school during our dance-heavy rehearsals.
When you see this show, and when any of our listeners are going to see the show, they're going to see how many dance moves are in this show. There are so many songs, I think 23, and every one of them has some sort of movement, and none of it is made up on the spot. It's all choreographed. So she has to keep track of all of that, and the kids go to her first for help. They don't go to Miss Elishuk. She is a student representative. So it's a really big job. Everybody's job is a really big job.
That's outstanding. And it sets up, I think, my next question, which is about collaboration. There's a lot of different roles and a lot of different responsibilities. And it sounds like from the last episode we did, and just listening briefly to you already, that there is a lot of collaboration and working across different parts of the show. Can the three of you kind of share an example of how makeup, costumes, props, choreography, how they all have to work together to make maybe a scene successful or a portion of the show. Is there an example that kind of comes to mind when you think of the ways that you've been kind of forced to collaborate to make the product better?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. One of our numbers we were talking about specifically is Under Attack. It involves a lot of dancing, and like your costumes, you have to be able to dance in them and have to be like safe and dance in them.
But I think a lot of it for you, the reason why we're bringing up Under Attack is because it's supposed to be a darker scene with almost a nightmarish feel to it. And Lily has done a lot of costume work with people on that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then your props, too. They also, like, add to the scene and the costumes, too, and, like, the ambiance.
Yeah, the ambiance. And then, of course, Teagan.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole what's on stage.
What they're doing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different things happening at once. There's a lot of different groups doing different things. And I think that Lily is very good at taking into accommodation what our needs are for the costumes to make sure that we can move in them. And Eily, we also have a lot of props on stage, and she's very good at keeping things organized and keeping everything clean and neat backstage. So that way it's functional.
That's great. And it's got to be certainly a skill that transfers not just to this, but to your schoolwork or to other parts of your life, that working together, that collaboration piece, taking other people's viewpoints into consideration as you're kind of doing something. That's great, and certainly a skill that goes beyond this. For Lily and for Eily, is there something that you're working on, a detail or something specific that you're really especially proud of, something that kind of jumps out at you as, a little more special than the other things?
A poster that I was making today, I'm actually super proud of that. I didn't expect to be as proud of it as I am. And even though it only appears on stage for a short amount of time, I really like how it looks. But also with the cups that I'm painting to make it look like they have almost tropical, like drinks in them. I've talked with one of the actors who's often standing behind the bar and is supposed to be like mixing and pouring these drinks. So we have a little setup to make it look more realistic, like he actually is pouring these drinks instead of just grabbing a cup that's already full.
And one thing I'm really proud of is actually just like the actors, like coordination as a whole, and making sure like the actors, like all their outfits, they like look like they're in one place, and like no one's like super standoutish. Like we all look like we're in one place. They're like touristy, like a wedding. Like it's like all pretty coordinated, and I'm pretty proud of how well that came together.
Those are great details. I think certainly if you're listening, it's perhaps raising the level of interest in attending. So that's always nice too. It's got wheels turning, I think, for folks. Teagan, for you as the dance captain, how do you help keep the energy and the consistency up across the cast? I got to imagine rehearsals can be long, and long in terms of the amount of time you're there in one day, but also I know you've been doing this for a while, as it kind of dials up to the getting closer and closer. How do you kind of keep that energy? I got to imagine that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Rehearsals can feel really long sometimes, but I just try to give a lot of encouragement to the dancers, and I try to always have a positive attitude and a smile, even when it feels like a long rehearsal. And also, Mrs. Monroe helps us with review sessions and advisory, so it's good to have our dancers get together to do some reviews, since there's a lot of dances, and it really helps to stay on top of everything.
That's great. And a little plug for the advisory period and how it's used at the high school for a variety of issues, right? Academic or solutions, right? Academic and clubs, and perhaps even a little extra rehearsal time. So that's nice.
And Teagan is not telling you, because she would never tell you, that she is literally a ray of sunshine. Literally right from the sun. There is not a day she doesn't smile. There is not a day she doesn't ask anyone if they need help. So, I mean, just being her human self is the thing thing that keeps everybody's, spirits up, because she is from the Sun. So we appreciate the Sun for lending us Teagan.
And that's to the program. So for all of you looking back at the rehearsal process so far, what part of your role has challenged you the most? Like, what has been maybe the most difficult or part that you struggled with? And then, of course, that question's always followed up with sort of what's the most rewarding, what's kind of jumped out as being something maybe you didn't expect that's been super positive. Lily, you want to start on this one?
Mine kind of almost goes along with what I said before, the coordination and making sure everyone looks very coordinated. It's because we have it's one of the largest casts we ever had. I think it is the largest cast. Mm-hmm. So getting to every single person and making sure their outfits can look somewhat aligned, but also pertaining to their specific character, what they want to do. So it's been pretty challenging, but it's also really rewarding, watching it.
And just to give you some numbers to make you understand and make the listeners understand, we're looking at 34 people in the cast, right? Mm-hmm. And then each cast member has
about 4
costumes. And let's not forget shoes. And then we can't forget things like socks. And then we don't want to forget things like jewelry. So that would be a hat. That would be considered that. So, we're in the 100 here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just what's your name? Jeff? Well, you get to wear this shirt. It's what outfit are you wearing for this scene? What are you going to wear for this scene? So she's keeping a lot of things straight.
Nicole, for you, how does that cast size compare to the other shows that we've done?
I would have to go back and look at old cast lists, but I believe this is the largest cast. Yeah, since I have been here in the 4 years, with Little Shop, with Drama in the Den, and with Addams Family. Mm-hmm. So, but it's Addams Family was probably close, I think. Yeah, but this is more. Mm-hmm. So this is a big. 35 you'll see, or 34 on stage all at once. There's a lot of scenes with a giant set. So it's a lot, and it's a lot to keep track of. The kids are seeing that Mrs. Monroe's 52-year-old brain is starting to lapse, and so they're helping me remember things, because it's just so much stuff we have to do. So these guys are integral. And while I'm talking, I'm also going to say that while we were doing this, I nicknamed this group. They didn't know it, but I did it in my head. They're the Quiet Storm. That's what I'm going to call them, because they just put their heads down. You don't even know all the work they're doing. They're just doing it. And for an educator, for a teacher, for somebody that has so much to do, being able to rely on students to do these roles, to just do the jobs that they are assigned to the best of their ability, to, just at such a high level, is really great, because that's a little difficult when people are learning about having a leadership role. And when you can trust that you can say to someone, hey, I need this thing done, and then you kind of don't really have to check in with them, it'll be done. That's great. And these are job skills. These are life skills, so I'm so proud of them. But they just put their heads down. They just rumble, and they get it done. I love them so much.
Wow. And now a new nickname. We got all sorts of things.
No.
Lily, I think you finished. So you want to go, we'll go to Eily?
I actually have quite a bit to say on this one. So let me get myself a little bit prepared. Well, it's not necessarily a part of my role. The hardest thing throughout this show for me has been not being in the building in the later half of the day, because I'm in the Questar programs. As somebody who's doing both acting and managing props, my time at rehearsals are constantly taking up. I get there about 30 to 45 minutes after rehearsal starts. So I have to make sure that I catch up with people on vocal parts, catch up with people if they realize they needed any new props, and then I have to learn dances as well. So I think the most challenging bit has definitely been managing all of the different moving parts in my life. The most rewarding part is that it's working. I am so glad that I'm able to be here today. When I'm doing things for the club, I don't have to be at Votech. I can take an off day if I'm working here. So having today and the rest of the rehearsal times to work has been super rewarding.
That's an outstanding answer. Thank you. Teagan.
For me, I think definitely remembering everything and keeping on top of everything has been really challenging. Like Miss Monroe said, we have like around 23 numbers, and a lot of them have dances and a lot of them have like ensemble dances. So I think just remembering and making sure that all of my dancers remember as well, has been the most difficult part for me. The most rewarding part for me is seeing everyone have confidence and have fun with their dances and seeing them really step out of their shell. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's going to be very rewarding when you see kind of it all come together like that. This has been great. And I'm glad that we've been able to do the 2 episodes because we had a lot to cover and a lot of students that we wanted to feature on this. So we put our heads together here. And I think the original idea, was yours, Nicole, to kind of get this big group together. And then we said, well, let's divide them in half and really get the word out about the show. I know there's a lot of excitement and a lot of energy in the building about it. And hopefully that is successfully carried over to our listeners, and we'll have a great turnout for the shows, and hopefully some good weather too, so we can make sure that everything is on schedule. This after school, early February window, a lot going on. So thank you for taking some time here with us, and we look forward to the performances.
Thank you for your ongoing support always. And we can't wait to see everyone that comes to the show.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. See you next time on Every Student, Every Day.